Aso Rock is on fire. Aso Rock is on a panic mode as US expose how federal government is sponsoring terrorism against Nigerians and make sure the media don't reveal the depth of what is going on in Nigeria. When they talk about Nigeria, my brother, they are talking about me and you. They are talking about Benue. They are talking about Plateau. Let's forget about other ones. They know what they are doing. But first and foremost, before I proceed with this video, I would like to state this unequivocally, or let me make this threat to YouTube. Whether a human admin or I been a robot admin, there is a background music on a video that I will play to my people now. Please, I have no right to the copyright of that music. It was never intentional. So I never intended to record anybody's music. If there is any background music on that video, it was not intentional. And I have no right to copyright of it. So this my video is simply an original video and can never be a copyright. So please take note, YouTube admin. Now, a very vital message I want to pass to my people. So whatever background music you hear on that video that I'm going to play now, it is never intentional. So please, I beg you, don't copyright this video. My people, let us watch this video and then we'll come back for more discussion. Awo de Nakreka. It must get worse before it gets good. Biafrans, we are already at home. You like it or not, ahoy, up to you. Let's go there.
Welcome you all here to Equipping the Persecuted's first press conference in Washington, D.C. The reason we are holding this press conference is to draw attention to what is happening in Nigeria. And I know we have some people.
Mayatiala Breeders Association, Cattle Breeders Association are not breeding any cattle.
People who are on the front lines reporting this cannot be overstated, but the challenge that they face is that the media itself denies the reality that they see and report. It is truly without conscience that you can witness the execution of people and have it denied because journalists are too lazy, too corrupt, too stupid, too cowardly to stand up and tell the truth. That is without conscience. And, you know, we have to stop being afraid of what people will say to us. We have to stop allowing those who tell the truth to be punished and those who lie to be rewarded.
Guys, it is no longer news that our federal government are the ones sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. They are the 100% behind insecurity in Nigeria. The reason for this, I don't know. The video you're about to watch is not my video. This is coming directly from Washington, D.C. They unveil how our government, they sponsor terrorism, how they reward those who speak lies, okay, and punish those who speak the truth. Guys, this video is too important. It's too important for all Nigerians not to hear, not to watch. That's the reason you must like this video. Please share it in all the platforms. I beg, share this video. The things they reveal here, let me say this to buttress the video about to watch. A couple of days ago, it's on paper, just Google it. Joint Task Force, right? I think it's Biafra. So they were about to capture this popular terrorist. What's his name? I said Tuji Bello. They terminated most of his men. Just few minutes for them to capture him. Guess what? They got an order that they should retreat. Our paper said, Nigeria Daily reported it, how Nigeria government protected Tuji. The reason for this, I don't know. See, if you don't share this video, I believe, if you don't share a video like this, for information like this to go out as far as it can, it means you enjoy this security. I can assure you one day this insecurity, it will reach you. Look at Fishnet Dadina everywhere. How they are covering up for Fulani herdsmen. How they went further to expose Fulani cattle breeder from Nigeria. They are not breeding any cattle. Waiting they be terrorist organization. Share this video as much as you can. The only way you go push to be enemy of Nigeria, you enjoy this spirit, and for you not to share this video. Now it's for you not to watch this thing to the end. This video is loaded. If you don't have the time, come back, share it. When you come back, come and watch. My God.
We are holding this press conference is to draw attention to what is happening in Nigeria. And I know we have some people in that are was privileged enough to meet a gentleman by the name of Frank Utu. Frank is from the very community, Yellowwater, where over 34 of his family members were massacred on June 13th. We are calling this the Father's Day Massacre. And we were fortunate enough to meet Frank. Frank was here in the United States, and we said, Frank, you need to come here and tell your story and talk about what has happened to his people and what is continuing to happen to his people in Yellowwater. So Frank, I'd like to introduce you to come up and tell your story and bring some comments, sir. God bless you and thank you for coming.
First of all, I want to thank you so much for the very noble privilege of addressing this gathering. I want to thank the organizers. I want to thank Judge Saul particularly, and members of the U.S. Congress. And I want to thank you so much for all you've been doing for Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Before I proceed, please, I implore you to stand up for just 10 seconds to observe a 10-second silence in memory of my brethren, my siblings, my relations, and all victims of massacre in Nigeria. May their souls and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in perfect peace. Distinguished guests, I stand before you today a Nigerian. But more than that, I stand before you as a witness for everything you are saying here, or you've said here. I'm a living witness. So today you are getting a tangible, concrete evidence from he who has been a victim. You, the American people, and indeed the conscience of the free world, have heard stories about Nigeria. You've heard about corruption. You've heard about misgovernance. You've heard about terrorism. And on the flip side, you also must have heard about our great sportsmen and musicians and our guys in the entertainment industry and brilliant minds all over the world making global impact in sciences, medicine, and every other area. My name is Frank Faga Uto. I'm from Yellowwater, the very place where the massacre of last month took place. The village head of Yellowwater today is my cousin Kumagajo. He succeeded my dad, who passed away in 2023. I'm a lawyer and a graduate of the law school of the Northumbria University School of Law in the northeast of England, Newcastle. But today I'm a graduate student at the University of Central Oklahoma. I've come straight from the heart of this unfolding tragedy. Last month, like I said earlier, over 200 people who are my friends, my family, my neighbors were brutally, gruesomely, in the most cruel manner, killed. But before then, every month, we do record 10, 20 deaths in the hands of these terrorists. But it has never been pronounced because we lived with it in the last 10 years. Last month was different because of the sheer number, the sheer size of what happened. 34 members of my family were annihilated. 34 members of my own immediate family. My auntie, who was pregnant with twins, was butchered. Her belly was pierced, and they removed the twins and slaughtered these twins, the fetuses. My friend, who just came to the village that day, he spent 7 years studying pharmacy in the university and had graduated a year ago and had done his housemanship and came to the village, and they killed him that they burnt him to death in his room that night. My sister, God's mom, Mary, a very devout Catholic who has been an altar server who is a 300 level student, that's how we call it in Nigeria, third year student of accounting in Nasarawa State University, was butchered and her brain was spilled out that night. Children, 1 month old, 3 months old, aged 70 years, 80 years old people who cannot flee, were cycled with fuel in their room and burnt to death. When this massacre happened, the first call I got very first thing in the morning, the first 8 names I asked after spontaneously were all killed. The first 8 names. It was that 20% of my village was annihilated. We're a village of about 2,000 and about more than 200 were killed on that day. Relative to America, it's like 30 million Americans, so 50 million Americans killed in a single night. That was just what happened. For too long, the true nature of this conflict has been obscured by euphemisms and mischaracterizations, just like what you say there. Some call it climate change, some call it grazing routes, but those are the euphemisms for the true context, the essence of exactly what is happening. So we in the Middle Belt have faced a calculated, systematic act of terror, and I'm here to tell you unequivocally that Nigerian Christians, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, have been facing genocide. And of course, that's exactly what's happened. I assure you, when armed militias converge in your village and start killing and shouting the internationally recognized slogan and motto of jihadists all over the world, Allahu Akbar, it's no longer ethnic, it's not political, it's strictly religious. And that was exactly what they were doing that night. That was a chant from beginning to end. They were killing and shouting Allahu Akbar every step of the way. And you know the funny thing? They took 4 hours doing that. And let me paint a graphic picture of what Yerota is. My village is situated on the federal highway, what you call the interstate in America. So it's not a village in the hinterland where the road is impassable. It's a village that is just 25 minutes drive to the state capital, Makurdi, where there's an Air Force base, the Tactical Air Command of the Nigerian Air Force, where they could deploy a drone. It's 25 minutes drive. And in Makurdi, there's the presence of the 72 Special Forces Battalion of the Nigerian Army. And then the next capital, the capital of Nasarawa State, Lafia, is placed 51 kilometers away from my village. So we are sandwiched by 2 capitals, state capitals, on the highway, on the interstate. And these terrorists operated for 4 good hours, burning everybody in the village. That points exactly to what has been an established fact: state complicity. Distinguished audience, the Nigerian government, despite its pronouncement, has demonstrably failed to defend us. Time and again, when our villages are attacked, help is either non-existent or deliberately arrives too late. Worst, when our young men, driven by desperation to protect their families, organize themselves in self-defense, they are often met not with support, but with arrest and detention by the very authorities who should be protecting them, leaving our communities even more vulnerable. This is not just neglect, it is active disarming of the victims. Therefore, I stand you today to make an urgent, fervent plea, a plea for the conscience of America and the global community. 1, I reaffirm what my bishop, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, Bishop Anagbi, said to the U.S. Subcommittee on Africa, Congressional Subcommittee on Africa in March this year, that let's designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. The systematic, egregious violations of religious freedom against Christians in northern Nigeria demand this designation. This is not merely symbolic. It triggers mechanisms for focused diplomatic and economic pressure, sending an unmistakable message to the Nigerian government and the perpetrators that the world is watching and will not tolerate this genocide and injustice. Secondly, we need intervention, not indifference. We need active, robust intervention from the United States, the West, and all people of goodwill across the globe. We need monetary and humanitarian aid, very especially, to help rebuild our villages and take care of the medical and clothing needs of our people, as well as food. Our people don't have food now. They hardly eat in a day. Beyond the humanitarian aid that is desperately needed, we make the following call. A, targeted sanctions. Impose sanctions on individuals and entities implicated in the persecution and violence against Christians in Nigeria. My brother Steve mentioned some names. Those are the names. These figures are well known. Some time ago, 2 years ago, Dubai arrested about quite a couple of terrorists, that's the UAE government, and prosecuted and jailed them. They gave them a corresponding list of their sponsors in Nigeria. The UAE sent that list to Nigeria, and Nigerian government has slept on it up to this day. Intelligence sharing. C. We need capacity building, share critical intelligence with groups capable of defending themselves, and provide non-lethal weapons and defensive capabilities to vulnerable communities, bypassing a government that has proven unwilling or unable to protect its own citizens. D. Diplomatic pressure. Leverage every diplomatic tool to demand accountability from the Nigerian government for its failure to protect its Christian citizens and to cease the arrest of those attempting self-defense. E. Allow us to defend ourselves. If the Nigerian government cannot and will not defend us from this systematic jihad, then they must allow us the right to defend ourselves. Instead of sending soldiers to arrest our able-bodied youth who are merely trying to protect their homes and families, the government must step aside and permit communities to organize legitimate self-defense mechanisms. Disarming the victims in the face of an existential threat is not neutrality, it is complicity. Furthermore, as crucial part of the solution, we demand that the USA, the Interpol, and the global community arrest the sponsors of the Fulani Jihad in Nigeria, who are the very center of gravity of this genocide. Those sponsors are well known to the US, to Nigeria, and the Interpol, and they are among the top echelon of the Nigerian political, business, economic, and traditional institutions. They must be prosecuted before the International Criminal Court, ICC, for crimes against humanity. This is not merely about justice for the past, it is also about dismantling the machinery of terror that continues to threaten our existence. My people are resilient, we are resourceful, but we are also systematically slaughtered. We are not asking for an army to fight our battles, but for the fundamental right to protect our lives, our families, and our faith in the face of an existential threat that the state has failed to address. The price of continued inaction, of polite diplomacy that ignores the brutal reality on the ground, will be paid in Christian blood. Let us not allow history to record that when Yerwata, my village, when Benue State, my state, which is made up of 98% Christians, and when Nigerian Christians are persecuted by these murderous jihadists, the world turned a deaf ear. Let us instead forge a new chapter, one where justice prevails, where human dignity is upheld, and where the systematic jihad against Nigerian Christians is made with the resolute stand of a global community, echoing a dark chapter from our own history. Finally, I called on the US, all of you here, to help pray for my siblings, for my friends, for my relations, for my community, for my state. The American dream, which was so well encapsulated and articulated in paragraph 2 of the Declaration of Independence, that you so much desire, we also desire that. We desire this unalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes, we do. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. God bless Nigeria. God bless Yarwata, and may the souls of the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, continue to rest in perfect peace.
We produced a 28-minute short documentary on the massacre in Yellowwater. And
There was no Truth Nigeria. There was no media organizations. And you know what was happening to those people? To Lawrence and Masara Kim and all of them? The journalists sitting in the big capital cities, the big cities and in the capital, who were taking the line from the government and didn't have the courage or the integrity or the professionalism or the character or the motivation to go to those frontline villages. They just bought the line from the government that it wasn't really happening, and they bought the line from the US State Department that this is nomadic tribesmen being forced to move from climate change. The Fulani are not really terrorists. Oh, the fact that they're Muslims got nothing to do with it. Because they're nomadic tribesmen, they're looking for other land. They're looking to go somewhere, you know, and that's forcing them to clash with the Christian villages. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That is just an example to you of how climate has been used as a scam. I mean, it's not just fake, it's much worse than that. All of these systems that are being implemented that are so profoundly dishonest, they're systems of control. How do we control the people, control the information and the narrative, and then have that as cover to do whatever it is that we want to do? Which, by the way, is to go into Christian villages and not only annihilate people. I mean, in one of the recent attacks that Truth Nigeria has reported on, putting women and children inside cages in the market and burning them alive. I mean, I was sitting down to a dinner in my hometown in Texas one Friday night years ago. My husband was with me. It was when we were trying to get the sound of freedom was being blocked because people didn't want child trafficking to be a conversation everyone was having. And we were doing our best to help get that movie put out. And I got a video. I showed it to my husband as we sat down. He couldn't eat. And it was a young 18-year-old girl from Nigeria who was pulled from one of the villages, and as they were slicing off her head, they were digging her baby out of her tummy. And she was well advanced in pregnancy. That's the reality of what, you know, when you put those numbers up and you go before your colleagues in Congress and you put those numbers forward, that's what it means in human terms. I mean, Lawrence once was calling Doug and myself, he's sitting in the back of a meat wagon on the bodies of his friends and neighbors with malaria. Remember, after that he went out with malaria for weeks. I mean, these the courage of the people who are on the front lines reporting this cannot be overstated. But the challenge that they face is that the media itself denies the reality that they see and report on with their own eyes and ears. I mean, that's without conscience. Honestly, I stand before all of you in the National Press Club of the United States of America, the most powerful free nation on earth, where we have First Amendment rights. And I mean, I cannot say strongly enough to the press corps, do your job. Do your job. Because we are supposed to be the inspiration and also the safety net for journalists everywhere. It is truly without conscience that you can witness the execution of people and have it denied because journalists are too lazy, too corrupt, too stupid, too cowardly to stand up and tell the truth. That is without conscience. And, we have to stop being afraid of what people will say to us. We have to stop allowing those who tell the truth to be punished and those who lie to be rewarded.
Hope the majority person who spoke is here. The person, Lower Benue, has run away, and that is what they do with us. They tell us what they want, and then they run. They don't hear us. But let me say one thing clearly. Mayatiala Breeders Association, Cattle Breeders Association are not breeding any cattle in this country. All the cattle, majority of them that we see up and down this country come from Pokistum market in Yobe. They buy them and they take them across the country. Once they finish selling, they go back. So no person is breeding any cattle in this country. If they were breeding, they would have known that it is better, it's healthier to breed cattle on a ranch. They would have known that. But there is another thing which we must also appreciate. And this is the fact that the current crisis, even though you can trace it to the killing of a small Fulani person going about with cattle, is actually not right to trace it to that point. Because this problem has been happening here for more than 10 years. For more than 10 years. And I want us to not forget the fact that this is not just a Benue problem. Today, the Fulanis are in Bayelsa, and they are grazing by force. Today, the Fulanis are in Rivers State, and they are grazing by force. So we who are Nigerians and who want to stand our ground as citizens of this country must appreciate the fact that we are not dealing with a local problem, we are dealing with a bigger problem. The issue of Nasarawa State has come up, and we know that even during Amakura's time, Fulanis were coming there and attacking Benue State, and Amakura will call them international hunters. He will call them international hunters, in spite of the fact that Nasarawa State does not have any international hunting grounds. He will call them because he wanted to mask that. And even today, the governor of Nasarawa State, Sule, is also masking the problem. Those of you who are in Nasarawa State will know that ancestral lands belonging particularly to the Tea people in Awe, in Doma, in Kiana, in Lafia, and in Obi have been taken over and given to Fulani people. And these Fulani people are the Fulani people coming outside the country. Now, no other person in his right senses will ever deny that the Fulanis who are pushing and attacking us are coming from outside the country. It is people like Sule, the governor of Nasarawa State, who is giving them haven, who is giving them refuge, who is getting the lands of his own citizens and giving it to these people. The person from Lower Benue talked about climate change. Let us be clear on one thing. The people who are coming as a result of climate change and pushing us are armed, and they are not from this country. As citizens of this country, if we never resist when our governors and our politicians push us away from our lands and give it to foreigners, we will be making the greatest mistake of our lives. The Nigerian who is a citizen has more rights to the land of this country and the resources than somebody who is coming from outside this country, no matter what is chasing that person. What do I want us to do? First, I want us to note that our politicians in the different parts of the state, including this state, have sold us. You are standing here, we are sitting here.
A very, very, very wonderful one. You see that message? You see, some people now will see it now and said, why are they not talking about Biafra? My brother, if they are talking about Plateau down to Benue and Enugu State, Biafra land. In fact, the whole of Benue now, as long as they are Christians, my brother, believe it or leave it, they have already placed, or they have already given their allegiance to the Biafrans. They have already said it unequivocally on so countless times that they should count them out of anything that got to do with Middle Belt, that they are now Biafrans. The last time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeared at the High Court of the Zoo, Benueans, with the people who came from Enugu State. In fact, some Benue even go to Enugu State and they protested. You can have them say, I'm from Benue, but I'm here to protest because they need to release my leader. And some Benueans in Benue State, also Makurdi, also went on a peaceful protest demanding for release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In other words, when they're talking about Benue, they are talking about me and you. They are talking about Biafrans. They are talking about the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. It is taking center stage. It can never get better until it gets worse. Because what is happening now, since nobody is talking about it, look at how this man explained the whole thing in detail. The first speaker, the first black speaker, the second black speaker, he said it is a grazing. He said grazing my foot. It is land grabbing. It is ethnic cleansing. It is what they call it, jihadists, cleansing of the Christians in their own land. And the worst part of it, all these things, if the Nigerians they do these things, it will, that's okay. You could just, maybe you may somehow endure it. We're talking about foreigners coming into your land, having veto power. Bello Tunji have been calling for meetings upon meetings. In fact, not even Bello Tunji. Federal government of Nigeria from Aso Rock, just like when you hear this authority is from Washington DC, from White House, it must be obeyed. When you hear that this authority is from Moscow, you must be obeyed. Because that is the center of everything. From Aso Rock, they are sending clerics, paying them heavily to go and negotiate with somebody. Musa was appearing on channel Arise, AIT, blabbing. We have declared him wanted. We are declaring him wanted. And we have replaced a 5 million bounty on his head. Anybody can tell us whereabouts. And you know their whereabouts. All the whole Islamic cleric in the north, they know about Bello Tunji. They know his hideout. They know everything about him. They know how many wives this man have. They know how many children this man have. Let me shock you. This one now will make you to cry. Do you know that Bello Tunji is a Nigerian? A Niger is from Niger Republic. Bello Tunji is a Niger. There was a time when they said they declared him wanted and he have gone underground. He traveled back to his hometown. And the military junta there tell him that he gave him not 48 hours, not 72 hours, not 24 hours. That he gave him 12 hours to leave Niger. Otherwise, he let him know that Niger is not Nigeria, where he will go and occupy territories. That they are giving him 12 hours, otherwise his head will be cut off. Bello Tunji left and come back to Nigeria. A foreigner. Not even a foreigner, an infidel. Not even an infidel. A terrorist. Negotiating with the government who claims they are practicing democracy. Punish those who speak the truth and then shade those who are criminals. From beginning of all the whole 36 state governors, no one is exceptional, not even Alex Oti. All of them are all criminals. Go to Tinubu's appointment, whether they are 54, 52, 50, all of them have baggages. Then let's go back to the Oga. The Oga have been convicted. Bajabi Amala have been convicted. Fashola have been convicted. George Akume, who is secretary of the federation, have been convicted. What about the same Nuhu Ribado? Him or two have been convicted. Bello Metawale, a sponsor of terrorism. Bello Metawale. Atiku Bagudu, who is the Minister of Defense, have also been convicted. All of them, all. Once you know how to thief, they will reward you. Once you know how to lie, they will reward you. Once you know how to steal government funds, because if you went to the state where you you are the governor and you didn't steal, my brother, they will chase you far away because you will never agree with them. But thief all the whole billions and millions, they will call you and give you a handshake and say, this is the kind of person we want. Now, the talking have taken a center stage. If I tell you that I'm not happy over what is happening now, then I must be a very great liar. Joy fill my heart because it must surely get worse before it gets good. And once it gets worse, what then follows? Disintegration. Don't even ask why are they not talking about Biafrans. Don't even ask why are they not talking about the war that is going on in Okike right now. As I'm talking to you now, for complete 6 months now, Okike have been in war. People that are living there, most of them now can never hear clearly. Why? Because of the kind of gunshot and bombs, sound of bombs that they are hearing, daily occurrence. To sleep have become their problem. Waking up, they are waking up with sound of guns and even some bullets on top of their roofs. That is what is happening in Okike. Yet, Nigerian government are silent about it. Imo State government are silent about it. They rewarded Hope Uzodinma. Why? Because Hope Uzodinma, when he was then working as a, what do you call it, as a caterer or as a errand boy to Abacha, the Northerners, he steal and steal and steal and steal. To the extent that even Abacha was afraid of Hope Uzodinma. And then they saw him and saw the kind of heart he have, that he have a heart of a devil. That whatever they tell him to do, he will do it. And then they call him, made him to swear an oath that look at what you are going to do for us. That you make sure that Imo State will never be in peace. That once Imo State is not in peace, it is going to circulate to every other part of the southeast. And he agreed and signed the deal. And that is how they gave him a governor from number 4th position to number 1st position. And nobody talk anything. Tomorrow you come out and tell me, Imo State when a mother, Imo State when a mother, Imo State when a mother, Imo State no get any single person. In fact, Ali in general no get any single person. Look at Anambra State that have produced most of, the highest billionaires they have in entire Nigeria. Anambra State, most especially Nnewi. They are there. And Chukwu Soludo is rubbishing them. Rubbing mud on their faces. None of them could ever come out and utter a word. None of them. All the whole billionaires. When I talk about billionaires, I mean billionaires who made billionaires legally, not illegally. So tell me, why are you afraid? Come out and speak. Because why the ones who made their money illegally cannot speak? Because when you say it, they will open your chapter. Or are you now telling us that all of you all that were called billionaires made your money through illegal means? Is that what you are trying to tell us? Because he who is down fears no fall. If there's no any skeleton in your cupboard, you will come out and challenge every government. The reason why Tinubu is trending today is because all the whole people who are supposed to challenge him, all of them have baggages. Open your mouth and talk, and they will open your own file. and then EFCC and DSS will knock on your door. US, let me not begin to have these feelings that you people are in support of what is happening in Biafra land because of your own personal interests. Let me not have that feelings. If not, why are you people still waiting not to designate Nigeria or even sanction Nigeria? Nigeria is supposed to be putting on country of particular concern. As I'm talking to you this moment. Yellow water killings. Do you know after 1 week of killing over 200 or 213 people, those people go back and kill 50. Last week there was attack on that same area. No any single soul have been arrested. US are seeing all these things and they keep their mouth shut. Let me not have this feeling that you people are having hand in what is happening in the Biafra land. Which I know one of our billionaire, Bill Gates, is among the killers. Maybe that is the more reason why you people decide to keep silent, because if investigation went into place, they would trust is paying all these people to go there and wipe out our farmers who produce the best yam in the whole of Africa. When I talk about yam, if you eat Benue yam, you don't even need any crayfish, you don't even need any fish, you don't even just boil the yam. My brother, you will eat it until you get full, because everything that needed to put on it is already in the yam. But look at what Brigade are doing. Before your water killings, Brigade visited Nigeria secretly. He went to Benue State. Maybe they took him and showed him that look at the place that have the best vegetation. These are the people who are cultivating the most yam that people are. Okay, so now we need to wipe them out so that our GMO food can be can enter the market. So maybe US are deciding to keep silent because they are complicit in this matter. But let's keep watch. I'm not indicting anybody. I'm not accusing anybody. But I'm just airing my own personal view, not a general view. So for you not to come now and say, you are defaming, I'm not defaming anybody. I say, let it not be, that is my language, that US is complicit on the killings, both in Biafra land and in Benue State. Let us dissect the comment section. Ogadoro. Chris Matthew said, for the fact, I hate what is really happened that day and every other terrorist attack on Nigeria every day. We should stop calling religion in all of this, because not only Christians who were massacred every day, including the Muslims, are also being killed. Every day, nobody blame it on Christians. Let's just know that all these things happening are just politics, not religion. We should come together and fight the injustice in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. My brother, you are very stupid. I am sorry to use this word, but you say your name is Chris Matthew. Maybe you borrow this name. I'm not sure that this is a Christian talking about this. If this guy is a Christian and you make this kind of comment, then you are an infidel. Let's not make it religion. Where have you seen a chunk of Christians, terrorists, going in the north to buy the whole north? To buy it, to do what they call ethnic cleansing. Where have you seen that? But look at he saying his name is Chris Matthew. He even answered the name in the Bible. Chris, if you put T now, it become Christ. Matthew, one of the books in the Bible. And look at what he's paying from his mouth. Let's not make it religion. If it's not make it religion, then let me know what it is. If I've never have a chunk of Christians that came together and said, now we are terrorists or bandits or whatever, and begin to murder Muslims, my brother, by now, that zoo called Nigeria will be in flames. Nigeria will be in flames. Then they will come out now and tell you, it's a jihadist war. Just come on, good Lord Jonathan. Come on, good Lord Jonathan. Want to wipe out all these miscreants during his own regime, 2012. What did they target? They say now it is Christians against Muslims. Because the then chief of army staff, Ihe is a Christian. And they swore that if that guy did not leave office, then this country, they are going to blast it. Good luck. Being handicapped, you have no choice. You have to demote Ihe. The same northerners now are coming today to cry that insecurity have ravaged them, that Tinubu has turned his back on them. So look at what this monkey is saying here. It is not a religious. Muslims are dying also. The Muslims that are their killings are the real outside, not Fulanis. If you must know, just know it. All this killing that is going, if they have been killing 10 million, if they have killed 10 million in Nigeria, maybe just only 1 or 2, and that 1 or 2 Fulani is just mistaken. The real Muslims, the real Hausas who own the land, who are the indigenous, are the ones they are killing in the north. Why? Because these are the people, when we are calling them Fulani, they say no, they will fight you. Then I was living in the north. That these are Hausa Fulanis, they are our brothers. That is how they penetrate them. Kill all their mentors. Kill all the prominent men in their society. Now in the whole of the north of over 19 states or thereabout, there's no any single emir that is a real indigenous of Hausa. No any single emir that's a real indigenous of Hausa. Sultan of Sokoto is a foreigner. All of them, all the emirs, they are all foreigners, Fulanis. And then you are here telling me that it is not only Christians that are dying. The Muslims they are killing are the ones, the real Hausas, the indigenous, the owners of the land, because they have subdued them and now they are at their mercy. Go to Taraba, indigenous Hausa. Go to Bronu, indigenous Hausa. Go to Bauchi, indigenous Hausa. Go to Gombe, indigenous Hausa. Those are the places they are killing. Go to Southern Kaduna, indigenous Hausa. They are wiping them. How many people have been killed in Kano? When last did you hear that there is a killing that took over 20 or 30 people's lives in Sokoto? If there is any, it is the real Hausas. They are still killing. The ones that are remaining. And you are here spilling nonsense from your mouth. Anyway, what do I know? I beg, now here we go take back break, We are going to go inside to cook another thing again. Don't forget, today is Monday. And it is going to be fire for fire. Agree with me. You will hear things from this channel today. Now me, Ukulora, they promise you. And I will never renounce from my promise. So have a nice day and have a nice week. May the good Lord continue to bless us or prosper us and meet us at every point of our need. Please, if you get this message, drop your opinion in the comment section. What do you think that US should do in this menace that is ravaging the people? When we're talking about it, we're talking about the indigenous. So we're talking about the real owners of the land. Those are the ones they are killing. The real Fulanis who are foreigners, nobody is touching them. They are the ones that when there is a command to go and kill them, another command will come from Asorok. If a state give command, go and wipe out miscreants in my state, a command will come from Asorok, do not touch them. Imagine a military killing police who went on a rescue mission to rescue those who are being kidnapped by Fulanis and then apprehend the culprit. Military intercepted them, by all of the policemen. A country. Hey. America, I say again, let it not be you people are complicit because of Bill Gates' interest. Anyway, my people, and here we will take back break. Please like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. Okulora will already be here to serve you. Have a nice day. Catch you next time.